Ahoy there, and welcome back to Hot Springs Island. Allow us to join our wonderful, wonderful crew. Ahoy there.
Hello.
Hello.
We're saying weeb words.
I heard Tenchi Jin. I do know what that is.
Ryoku Wagateki Wokuro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like saying it.
Exactly.
Alrighty, we
It
left.
makes me look cool, okay?
Exactly. I can pretend like I have friends and I can say things and they're like, I understand your reference. And you go, yes! And then that's the 3 seconds of communication you have with other people that day.
Oh, by the way, I know hand signs.
Excellent.
You know, the stupid Naruto ones.
Why do you know these?
Don't
Yeah,
ask.
what?
For driving, obviously.
Oh my
For
god.
Obviously.
driving.
How else do you
I
tell
was
them?
one of those people. Don't judge me.
How do you tell them you like your
Adorable.
intention?
I am judging you.
Exactly.
Do you still do them is the question.
I can still do Katon.
Excellent. As long as you're not going around the house back, man, look how cool I am, then you're fine.
No,
and if you still
no,
do
no,
that, that's also technically fine.
I only Naruto run up and down the stairs.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Understandable.
Down the stairs, that takes some skill.
Yes.
I feel like Naruto running down the stairs is more of a jump.
More so, yeah.
It's more of like a controlled
More-
crash.
Yeah.
More of a breaking your legs. You
It's
didn't need
extra
those
spicy
anyways.
because I have 2 turns in my staircase.
Oh, good.
Oh, so that's when you jump down and bounce off the wall and go down the other way? That looks sick.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
because
Totally don't put a
Naruto
hole
run
in your
off the
wall.
walls.
Parkour. Alrighty.
As
How
long
you break
as
the
long as
wall
you
real
yell
quick.
parkour, it's cool.
Yeah. Just don't eat shit. If you're saying parkour,
Yelp.
it's okay. If you say parkour and you eat ground, you're nah.
No,
Even-
you have to make sure you yell it before you break your leg, then it's fine.
Yell it before you try to wall run and put a hole in your wall.
Well, our walls are made of cardboard, so that's not an issue.
We look at our walls and they die.
Instead, you'll put a hole in your leg.
You can say it as the bonus snapping, so you tell everyone your intention, and they get breaks like, well, he was trying to parkour. Cool broken leg, bro.
Exactly, it's a badge of honor.
Precisely. I wasn't falling with style, I promise. So, a boy has been killed. The Crystalback Whiteheart. We drag his body after we give the first, second, doesn't matter, to our spine boy here. The sirens are indeed still singing and kind of doing their thing, and the 3 of you approach. Well, I guess technically more than 3 of you, but you know what I mean. We suddenly have a little army here of shadows and corpses and birds.
I mean, we can get rid of my boy.
Nah, he's cute.
Okay.
You could have asked for an additional shadow.
I tell him to go away, and he's just like, huh? How do I do that?
Go away. No. All right.
Guess you're
You go
saying.
away.
I refuse. Okay.
I mean, I don't think an extra shadow would really help me.
It looked
Or
though.
a slightly smaller shadow for your shadow.
Ooh. He gets a
Unless it
shadow.
would count as like an extra attack, it's not really worth it.
They just get progressively
Obviously.
smaller. Like a,
Just make a small army of me.
Recursive shadows.
exactly.
They just keep splitting and splitting until they're like the size of rats.
Oh my god. Oh, little rat-sized Aldrins running around. Or I guess one rat-sized Aldrin running around and slightly larger rats.
You could
Oh.
form like a limbo chain of Eldrins and teleport between each of them.
Very cool. But yes, the 3 of you asked Meltalia for a gift, a wish, something for saving her. And we have indeed decided. Sarabi, you wanted.
Well, I'm lame and I can't think of anything creative, so stats.
Wow, that's what a great lead into Lekka.
What I said last week.
Stats.
More stats.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm lame, so I asked for stats. Lekka, what do you want? Also stats.
I RP'd it as not stats.
Indeed. Yeah, you don't ask her for more charisma.
I want more self-confidence. Yes.
Which is perfect. And Aldrin, you
It's
asked
just
for a feat,
You want
correct?
to be sexier.
Yeah, tough.
Alrighty, so we have tough on Aldrin and +2 to our main stat for Sarabi and for Lekka. I also mentioned that the 2 of you were healed ever so slightly, and moving around this large White child, you guys have the assistance of Lekka, of course, because he's way too fat and heavy to carry around. So
Yes.
this does take not forever, as I mentioned, it's around 8 p.m. or so. So in the span of you guys coming here, killing this thing, there's somewhat of a ritual. She essentially instructs the other free Nereids to surround you all. And when she does, they begin singing another song, separate from the one that's currently being sung, but they actually harmonize together quite well. And then her voice pierces out, echoes throughout the halls here. And you guys can hear sort of in the distance the little water imps. They're kind of cooing along. And it seems as if the cave itself is joining in on this song. And she's kind of swaying and doing a dance around the 3 of you. You feel empowered. precisely sure what she's doing, but it is definitely 100% working. And she is correct. It does take a fair minute or so. But after, we are supercharged. And the world is indeed your oyster. You've already eaten Sarabi, but a reminder anyway, it is day 23. Day 27.
I have already requested to eat before we actually go into this fight, so yes.
Fair enough.
You don't need that.
Do you want me to concentrate or do you want me to get distracted?
You'll be fine either way.
OMG.
Just don't die.
It's that simple.
Oh, I know. I should have
Just
asked
say
for
no to death.
I should have asked for the ability to absorb what I need without doing what I need.
Could have done that probably, yeah.
Not too late now.
Afterthought. Damn it.
Right as she finishes her song. Well, rip for you.
My bad.
I mean, if anything we can say, since that stat indeed
No, it's
does...
fine. The stat's fine.
No. Because that's part of your magic. It's part of who you are. Your magic stat is now empowered. So maybe...
Oh, my charm.
Yes. I mean, literally, yes. So maybe you can last slightly longer before you start getting that itch.
Excellent.
Yeah, you can last 7 days plus your charisma modifier.
Yeah, it's pretty long now.
I'm sure you marked when you last ate, so...
Always.
You'll know what that number is. You have 4 days-ish. So, after her song, after this whole shindig goes down, everyone kind of goes back to what they were doing. The narrators around you give you all a bow, and they go back to kind of working and discussing amongst themselves, very clearly preparing for the upcoming war. I say, technically, if you guys want to think of something, either now or later, you're more than welcome to. If you're like, I actually don't want those stats, it's totally fine.
Retcon.
I was thinking I could have had my, what is it even called again? Emboldening Bond a bonus action instead of an action.
Is that all you would want?
That'd be nice.
I mean, currently I have to, I currently can't get that and Bless off in the same turn because of it.
True.
Yeah. I mean, you can ask if you can precast it effectively, but...
I mean, I precasted it like once before.
Yeah. If you want,
It's fine. I can stick with tough.
Oh no, I was going to say, you can remove tough, and it's not going to benefit you, unfortunately, but you can take it if you want. You can take that feature, so go ahead and delete tough, take out the 12 HP. You can add +1 to a stat, and you can use it as a bonus action. It's not going to actually increase in your stats, obviously, but you may do that if you wish.
Who needs more health?
You have a pretty good amount.
I'd go back down to 50.
Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead and delete that. If you want to add a feature somewhere saying, XYZ, this does this.
I can just change the wording on Emboldening Bond.
There you go. The Emboldening Bond is now a bonus action. Alrighty, and after all that, what is our plan? Where do we head to next?
The doggo.
A spine dragon in the city.
Alrighty.
Oh yeah, we were gonna feed that thing.
Yeah.
Alright, while it is slightly awkward to leave here, the narrators show you the easiest way to exit out a separate way, as opposed to, going through the tunnel, dragging this thing. This is not really going to work all that well. A little too much mass. But there is a path that they can show you that actually leads back to the original hex that you guys essentially found them in. That brings us back to HS25. And all that can be done within the same 4-hour window. So it's currently 8 p.m. Are we just heading straight to the city?
I think so.
Yeah, I doubt this food will last that long.
Unless there's anything else we need to do.
We can take the scenic route and go to the one singular undiscovered hex, I guess. Probably add another 5 by 4 hours, but...
I mean, how long until the food that we're offering it goes bad is the real question. We probably have something to preserve it a little bit.
So you guys definitely have some time. You can...
Sarabi is a cleric. You're a cleric. Don't you have, what's it called?
Oh, yeah, I guess I do.
Second level spell, I wouldn't have it.
No, it's a cantrip, right?
Oh, don't have it.
Spare the dying? Was it?
Oh, no, Spare the Dying works on living things, not dead things.
Yes.
Oh.
You're thinking of Gentle Repose.
Yes.
Maybe,
Second
yeah.
level spell.
It makes them stable, basically.
Oh, okay.
Gentle Repose just stops the body from decaying.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Which is what we want, right?
Yeah, but I can't do it. It would be on you.
I can do it.
You would need to rest 8 hours first. But you don't need to do that because this thing is hardy. You can tell it's got some kerchunk to it, as a decent portion of it is actually crystal. Not really sure how it's functioning precisely, but giving it a quick look over, Sarabi, you are indeed well-versed in medicines, correct?
Yeah, that's the idea.
All right, you can tell by looking at the body that it will definitely decompose, but at a slower rate than most creatures.
My goal in life is no more little sister's dead boyfriends.
That is a very specific goal.
Hmm.
Alrighty then. So moving forward to the next hex, 24, because we're obviously dragging a corpse with us, it's going to take a full 4 hours between each hex. Then we can move over to 23, which is our goal. It'll be
I'm
4 in the morning.
on my tenses floating plate.
Indeed. So we have to be careful not to drop it.
Yeah, it's pretty big, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. But sorry.
Yeah.
What I mean is you're not sprinting through the forest, correct?
I mean, we can technically, but no, we aren't.
Yeah, I would say I'll
because there would be an exhaustion.
if you want to get into combat, sure. So we're going to go ahead and reveal this bad boy here in the corner. And by the time we get here, it'll be 4 a.m. And you guys do indeed know that the shadows should be going away by now. It is day 24 for your reference, miss. And it is still definitely dark out already. Considering we have Daniel, he can help us look up ahead. I'll give a general description as to what we run into, and you guys can kind of decide what you want to poke. Let's see, I'll just kind of describe the first part of all 3 of these. You can tell me what you want to look at. Let's see. You guys see what seems to be... it's like an orchard of trees, and the jungle kind of gives way to this area. Something else he sees are 12 columns of polished obsidian, about 20 feet tall. And then he sees a copper archway about 8 feet wide and 13 feet tall. So while we're passing through here, which would you guys like to look at?
I vote archway.
I have no preference, so that works for me.
Alrighty.
Same.
Archway it is then. Let's see. Is there a cute little drawing of the archway here? I didn't see one.
I don't see one either.
What? I am sad.
See a gremlin looking dude.
Same. Waifu, draw me a really cute little archway there. A copper archway. As you guys head on closer, you see indeed a burnished copper archway, 8 feet wide, 13 feet tall. It stands in the center of a shallow pond filled with white lotuses. High reliefs depicting nude elves and such in natural settings cover most of the archway's surface. The copper is in pristine condition, but 3 areas have corroded over with swirls of blue-green verdigris. I don't know what that is, so we're going to Google.
It's something, that's for sure.
It is a word, yes.
Yeah, it is. A bright bluish-green incrustation or patina formed on copper or brass by atmospheric oxidation, aka the Statue of Liberty.
It's just copper rust. Okay, got it.
There you go. All right.
Well, then I guess my drawing color is perfect.
It's beautiful. I love it.
Yes, that's the archway. Not to be confused with the other one next to it.
Indeed.
That's the McDonald's.
Say opening a business.
Exactly.
All right. Within this period, are we choosing to mess with this thing? Look at other locations. By the time we reach the city, it'll be 8 a.m., so the shadows will be completely gone. McDonald's. My God. The isekai McDonald's, because they can never say McDonald's in anime.
Exactly.
All right. Do we wish to stay here and look at things, or are we just moving on?
I mean, if there's anything other than a big, cool-looking archway, I guess we can keep moving.
I walked through the archway.
Is that hill in the middle not noticeable?
That
Wasn't
hill...
it in the middle of a pond?
It is indeed in the middle of a pond, full of white lotuses, white lotusi. That giant hill that you're talking about, Sarabi, Daniel did indeed see it. It's definitely a hill. It's not a hillock. This is a hill proper. The most obvious part about it that sticks out to you is, of course, the 12 giant columns on it.
I find a lotus seed batch and store it away.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I want to take a close look at the columns.
You're not near the columns. You're near the archway.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Fine.
In terms of these, nothing immediately on them. But one thing that you do notice, at least cross-checking with some information we've gotten from the island, is a lot of the times these will denote nobility. People of higher working station.
The arches?
Indeed. Single arch. One arch.
Are we talking like a burial site or a house site or something else?
I mean, it might be a portal. Actually, does it resemble like any of the portals we saw in the tower?
Which tower?
The big observatory.
Yes, it looks somewhat similar.
Oh, it might be a portal.
Yeah, but it probably won't take us anywhere interesting.
I mean,
Assuming we can even get it to work.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of the portals don't work anymore. Could always try it, I guess. If only I could walk on water right now.
Say, looking closer at the archway before you really mess with it too much. Besides all the nude elves posed wonderfully and such, you can see various locations. And looking closer, none of these resemble anywhere you've been to yet on Hot Springs Island. You don't know if you haven't been here before, or if it's somewhere completely foreign. I would say, let's see. I won't have you roll, but I will say, Lekka, because you're a sailor, you actually recognize one of these locations. It seems to be a hotspot, I guess, pun intended, but ignore the fact that we're on Hot Springs Island. A hotspot on an island you've been to before. You maybe recognize another one? You're not entirely sure. You tell me, Lekka, where's somewhere interesting you've been? No combat, no monsters, nothing crazy. A relaxing island, essentially a resort someone would go to.
I'm sure there's like a small island somewhere that it's a resort island, obviously. There's not a lot of traffic, it's kind of out of the way. It's always sunny there, basically. Tropical. It might be a hotspot for, well, some of the less reputable merchants who come by there.
All right, well, looking a bit closer, it almost looks like there's a scene, a very vague scene, of course. It is carved into this archway, after all, that might represent that location, actually. You're not sure where it is in correlation to, like, this island. Yeah, in relation to this island, but, you definitely recognize it.
That's weird. I think I know that island, that place.
Is it nearby here?
I don't know. We still don't know where the hell this island technically is.
What about...
it keeps jumping.
Oh, I guess that's a good point.
I do know that this island is, well, it's further south than Shun Hill. It's quite a way off.
Well, my sister's in Shun Hill right now.
Right. Well, unless she jumps on a boat and sails for, like, I don't know, a week straight, she won't reach this island.
All right, that's pretty far off.
Yeah. Not a lot of people go there unless you, well, are very rich or want something specific. And some of these other images also, I don't know, they look familiar.
There's definitely a couple on there.
Heard of them?
I'm going to start sketching them.
Were you much of a traveler, Sarabi?
I mean, I got to travel far and wide to learn as many different medical techniques as I can.
Well, if you went to any resort-like location, or maybe somewhere off the beaten path, there might be somewhere you recognize on this archway as well. And being as well-read as you are, Aldrin, you too.
Wait, as in this portal goes multiple places?
You're not sure. But they are explicitly not showing off Hot Springs Island, and not all showing off the same location. In fact, these little displays are very clearly separated by said elves. So there's like a nice little carving of the area Lekka described, and then there's an elf sort of sitting on top of that, and above that she's holding another sculpture. And then above that, so on and so forth.
I'm gonna tell Daniel to sit on the archway for a second.
All right,
and I'm gonna quickly cast Identify through him.
He plops himself up on there. The most you're feeling is a lingering magic. There was something here, definitely. But unsurprising, as you mentioned, it's been cut off from whatever source it was connected to.
I think I identified the actual portals on the tower as well, right? So is it similar to that?
Very similar, yes.
Yeah, it feels the same as the portals we found in the tower. I think this used to be a portal. Doesn't work anymore, obviously, but...
Yeah, it makes sense.
Who knows? Maybe this is the exit that
no,
Natalia was telling about.
The exit was on the other side of the island, so it can't be.
Well, backup plan. Who knows? Interesting, though.
Very.
And after drawing this thing and jotting down some information, are we headed now into the city?
We'll use our canoe to, like, pedal in, I guess.
Alrighty, perfect. From a distance here, you guys can indeed see that a unfortunate portion of Hot Spring City has either been swamped or fell into the ocean. We're not really sure which. Maybe the water levels were lower back then, but from here, it's incredibly obvious it should not look like this. Too many of the steps and buildings just kind of fall right into the water. Prior to that, though, as you guys are getting closer and closer, I guess I could ask Sarabi, would you, and Aldrin, you're not quite as hurt, while you were resting and they were doing the whole shindig ritual, would you have also short rested?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and knock that out real quick then.
Nah, I probably would just... Honestly, still traumatized by those bugs.
Fair enough.
Still looking out for those bugs. Always have the bug zapper ready.
I mean, smart man.
Oh, I guess you wanted me to heal, don't you?
That's essentially what I'm asking, yes.
Yeah. I don't think you gain anything else back on a short rest, do you?
Not really. Alrighty, and that happened prior. But as you guys are approaching the city and you see all these like swamped out locations, allow me to activate a little map here for you. You hear talking up ahead. It's more grumbling, if anything else. And you guys are a pretty fair distance away, so you're able to take cover while you listen to the wind. And you can really explicitly hear something kind of moving around to the south of where you guys currently are. It's digging through various barrels and boxes and kind of tossing them off to the side, then grunting and then moving around again. You guys, if you wish, can definitely move around this location. There's a very clear path, but it is something you notice on the way back to Hot Spring City.
Is it like grumbling in a language that we can kind of make out, or is it like indistinct?
From this distance, you don't know if it's just cursing to itself or if you can't understand its language.
I mean, what's the difference at this point?
Might be. Hey, Daniel, go take a look.
Alrighty, Daniel goes to fly on over very carefully.
I mean, he's a seagull.
Yeah, he's kind of just chilling. He's looking about a bit.
Sit on like a wall somewhere or something.
And are you choosing to look through his eyes or just having him look and come back?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he does indeed do that. And you notice this creature's not alone. There are two more. There is also a red one and a green one. And they are doing the exact same thing. They're moving about, and you can actually see there is a corpse of some animal on the island, just sort of off to the side. Either they were feasting on it or they did something with it. You can't entirely tell, but its stomach's cut open. And the green one's kind of looking at it, gets frustrated, and kind of moves about and kind of goes around the corner. They're looking around, though.
Anything I've seen before this, or?
You've definitely seen the green one before.
The dead one?
Sorry. Do you mean the animal, or do you mean the creatures moving about?
Any of them, honestly.
You've 100% seen this green one before.
What is it then?
Well, you've only seen it on this island. This boy.
And
the others are
the same in appearance, or?
Yes, they look incredibly similar.
Wait, wasn't that the thing that stole her skin?
Yeah.
That one's not so thick.
Red one is not so thick. The blue one's got some chunk to him, though. The blue one is definitely the fattest one.
Respectable chunk.
He's got some nice, respectable chunk.
Do we know if they're the same creature type, or do they just? I mean, how many versions of frogs are there in the world?
So, as discussed before, you guys do not recognize them from anything you've seen prior, on the mainland at least. We do know that they're most likely not native to this area either. But you've never seen anything, like I said, similar to them, and all three of them look very, very, very similar. They've got all these little spikes coming out of their backs. They all look like two-legged frogs that are moving about. And through Daniel, they are all grunting and cursing kind of in the same language. They look to each other, and whenever they open their mouths, it sounds similar to croaking, but it's more chaotic. They're definitely communicating with each other.
Yes, chaotic croaking. So is the dead one, is it, I doubt it's the same one we killed, right?
So there's a dead animal, and the green one, like its stomach was cut open. Looks like its entrails were pulled out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what was the dead animal then?
It's just some random animal from the island. Yeah, it's just
okay.
What was it called? What are the wildlife? Not a boar.
Not one of the giant boars?
Not one of the giant boars. It was the coppermane prowler. It was one of
those things.
Yeah, kind of like a lion with a bird beak, and it was shooting lightning everywhere. It's got little feathers around it. It basically has a mane of feathers.
There's more of those things that took the skin of the mage.
Okay, well, they were dangerous.
Oh, gross.
So
yes, there's 3 of them. I seem to be looking for something. Give me a second. That guy's gonna ritual cast comprehend language. It's gonna take 5 minutes, I guess. Stand guard.
Okay.
I'm not sure how loud this is, by the way.
Does it have a vocal component?
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably whisper it, but you're still making noise.
You need to be loud enough to be audible, but you don't need to shout. So you can't whisper to the point where nobody can hear you, but it needs to be audible.
How far away is this?
You guys are far enough that they should not hear you. They're over 100 feet away from you guys.
Yeah,
then it should be fine. Okay.
Yeah, realistically, you can move like 50 or so feet further away if you want to be a little more safe. Totally up to you.
Like if I want to be extra safe, I can also cast what's it called? Wind wall or something. Wind ward, warding wind on myself.
All right, in those 5 minutes, I'm going to roll some dice to determine where they decide to move over to.
Oh, here's that guard.
Let's go over here. Go down this way. Go over this way. All right, as the
I
two
can't
of
see
you.
the green one apparently.
As the two of
That's
you are
weird.
watching, it is within Daniel's sight, but not within your... no, it's just within your sight. As the two of you stand guard, you notice they are still continuing to move about. You can hear them within the building, but you don't physically see them, meaning they're probably still on the other side of that wall.
I have
They can
fireball at the ready.
exist over there for now. Oh, I see.
They're dangerous. If they notice us, I'm going out blasting.
I mean, we could
one of
also
them
just
is-
try to leave.
One of them is wounded. The other ones seem different though. They seem to be more, I don't know, fighter typey. There's a blue one that's very big.
I pray to the heavens. If we kill all three of these, will we level up?
The heavens answer, definitely not.
Not worth the effort then.
And after these 5 minutes, like I said, they've shuffled around a bit, but they haven't really gone too far. So your spell is indeed finished, Leica, but you do know you're going to need to get a wee bit closer with Daniel, kind of have him move around. Are you trying to have him positioned between them, or like
I'm
move to any...
I'm basically listening through him. So because they were croaking at each other, so find out anything more about them. Because currently they are literally wildcards.
Okay. As he sort of moves on in, you can definitely understand what they're saying, but it's abrasive to the ears. It's almost physically painful to listen to. But their intent, straight up, is that they are indeed looking for something. With their tone, you can tell that they've been moving throughout Hot Spring City, and much like you guys, they found stuff. They're looking for people. One of them mentions someone was probably living here, so maybe they're looking for a trapdoor. Or maybe someone was here for a time being. They're not entirely sure. One of them is grumbling because he ran into a trap. And, Daniel kind of looking at them, you can tell that its skin has been assaulted by some sort of chemical. So they're angry they had to fight something. Or I guess they're angry they ran into a trap. But they're primarily looking for stuff. They found some in the city. Less than they would have liked. I wonder why.
Right, so it's not so much that they're looking for something specific.
Not something specific. No, they are... just trying to go and find... basically, I found something before, there must be more, is essentially the conversation they're having. They're not really talking to each other too much, they're more so just doing their thing. But one thing you do notice is it seems as if the green one is in charge. He's telling them all what to do, and they are listening pretty quickly.
I guess Daniel's gonna fly a bit close to the green one then. Gonna skip along the wall.
Okay.
Do random seagull things.
He looks up as he sees the bird, just kind of scoffs and looks back down.
Damn. That's not very nice.
I don't know, that's exactly what we want.
Yeah.
Don't jinx it.
Still rude.
And realistically, besides more grumbling, they're not really giving off too much information. It's essentially just a lot of keep looking, but not for much longer. We're going to head out. So they're almost giving up at this point.
Okay. Is there any signs of what direction they came from?
This one's going to kind of move around to the other side, is looking at the outside of the building, the blue one that is. And Daniel kind of looking around and about a bit. You can tell by the blood trail and the general direction that they came from the south of here, which would be from the inside of the city. So there's a possibility they are actually currently leaving the city.
Okay. I guess I'll relay all of that as it's happening. I don't think there's much point in fighting them, unless we, want to get rid of them in general. Natalia did say that they're dangerous.
Yeah, I don't really want to fight them.
Yeah, and one of them looks a little big.
All right, perfectly fair. We're just walking around, or we're going to wait for them to pass?
Can we walk around without getting noticed?
Very much so, yeah.
Then let's skedaddle.
Alrighty,
Or I vote skedaddle.
Sure, we can walk around them.
So they are in HS-19. We'll say they go from there to actually, obviously this island is quite large. I think I mentioned each hex is around 2 or so miles. They're actually moving to the hex you guys just came from, HS-23, where that big mound is. They're not going to the mound, but they're going in that general direction. They seem relatively distraught, as if they were unable to find whatever this something is. And like I said, generally annoyed. It very much looks like they were attacked by something. They won, clearly, but still annoyed. And are we heading straight to Dogson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, as we head back over to the bathes, going to be about 12 p.m. The sun is high in the sky. There are a few Arva scouts and patrols moving about, but we know how to avoid them best. And Mr. Spine Dragon is just sitting there, like nothing's happened. Not sure if he's sleeping or awake, honestly.
Living his best life.
He is. This is peak.
All right, so how do we want to do this? Because if you feed him the entire thing, we might be able to lure him away for a bit. But if he comes back, we're locked in.
This is a very good question. Do we know how fast that thing eats?
Wonderful question. So,
I mean,
what?
We've seen the other one eat, so.
Bingo. They eat very slowly. They savor their meal. He doesn't just suck the whole thing in. You notice when you guys get like the smaller food, because it was so small, it just like just Yoshi'd it on in there. Done. This boy, you can tell he's going to enjoy this.
He also probably hasn't eaten recently, so that I don't know, that might affect it.
Maybe. As long as we like lure him a decent distance away, I'm sure we can get in and out.
I mean, if we put it at the edge of the bathhouse within range, it should be okay, right?
Yeah.
All right, is that the general idea?
Then you'll keep watch in case he starts sauntering back.
Something you definitely noticed is people don't tend to move through here. So the guard basically decide, yeah, that thing's its own trap. Just leave it alone. All right, Lucky, you have the platter, so where are you dropping it?
Which way is he facing currently?
He's facing the door where you guys come through.
I'll very loudly walk through the door and drop it in front of them as I walk past him. Well, further inside, guys.
Okay. You kind of just plop this sucker down near the door. We'll move through, and it slowly looks up, kind of yawns a bit, blinks one eye at a time, and kind of just, and then it shimmies forward like slightly. You don't know if it's standing up or if it's moving. Very difficult to tell. But one step at a time, the creature slowly moves over and slowly moves over. And you've been around the spine dragon a couple times, Lekka. There is somewhat of a pep in its step. It seems relatively excited as it shimmies on over.
Oh, he probably hasn't eaten recently. You're welcome, buddy.
As it walks past, I'm gonna pet it a bit.
It almost bumps into the wall before it runs into the little wide R, and it just kind of opens its mouth and just like, and like the crystals just completely shatter under this thing's jaw. It just explodes again, and he just starts going to Chowtown.
Damn.
Yeah, you go enjoy that, big boy.
And behind him,
So at the pace of the first couple bites, do we have enough time?
No, he's going to savor this.
Excellent.
This is going to take a week.
In we go. He's going to be there for a week. Oh, no.
There were various boxes and such around him, and he was just squatting on top of a trapdoor.
Well, I guess we can try opening it.
Yeah, if it opens.
Unlike the other one,
Daniel's sitting outside.
Daniel's keeping watch.
He's sitting literally on top of the guy.
Honestly, he does not mind. He maybe pauses for like a split second. He might have been swallowing, we can't tell, and he just continues munging away. He doesn't seem bothered at all that the three of you just walked on by. And unlike the other doors, this one has no weird magical protection, nothing strange about it. You can actually tell it's a little weathered. It's seen better days. You guys are able to open it fairly easily. And the must that strikes you upon opening it is, this room has not been ventured into in quite some time. It is incredibly dark. There aren't too many holes in this building, so there's not really much sun shining through. It is indeed coming through the windows, but it does not come to the bottom of this pool here. Remember, the pool is empty, so there's no water. We all move on in?
Yeah.
You still have the continuous flame? I think Eldrin had it.
The glowing ring?
What did
ring?
we cast on? Was it the ring? Yeah, see if you can see anything downstairs.
Looking down, Aldrin, you can see that there is, indeed, a ladder that heads down. It's not rickety. It looks as if it's in decent condition, I would say. Only aged by time, not by constant use. Actually, definitely not by constant use. Kind of giving it a quick, stomp with your foot. Doesn't seem to be really going anywhere. I would say this goes down about 20 or so feet until it reaches the room below. But you can see the floor with the light, so not too far.
Just look back and shrug, just like there's just a ladder. That's all I really see for now. It doesn't go down too far.
I'll shoot you to go first. Shoo.
I was going to, but now that you want me to, now I'm going to wait for someone else to go first.
All right, I'll go first.
Like it just jumps down.
Out of spite, I will not go down first.
No, it's fine. We can see in the dark.
And you are rewarded. The room was a mimic and it eats Sarabi.
I screeched.
Perfect.
No, you don't, because you're dead. Anyway.
I have half a second to get a screech out.
Okay, you half screech until you're consumed into oblivion. All right.
Curse you!
Anyway, the three of you move on in, and this room looks incredibly similar to the other one we found that was marked, that had all the various maps. This one, though, is a little more organized. Not by much, but rather than multiple people possibly dumping information in here, this one looks like either singular or a small group of people organized what they had quickly, dashed it down here, and then somehow convinced this creature to just squat on it. But you just see a shit ton of information. Books, tomes, scrolls. Hard to decide where to begin.
Chance and how we're going to read all this before the fight. Let's start looking for interesting stuff, I guess.
I mean, yeah, we got some time.
Indeed you do.
In fact, I'm going to ask Daniel how far he is along.
As you kind of pop your head back up, Daniel just turns and gives you a bird thumbs up. He's taking his time.
All right. We've got a few hours.
Alrighty, I will tell you guys 2 things, and then, because there's so much information here, I will let you guys ask. If the information is down here, I will give you an answer, and we'll basically a hot potato it. So first and foremost, something pretty quick that you guys are able to discover, as this information is sort of just out in the open, you guys actually discover something about the ancients. There was some... Once again, the elves don't really know what it was precisely, but the ancients were very similar to the elves prior. I mean, they are snake people, but they weren't these crazy, ravenous monsters before, if you will. It seems someone was trying to research their history, and there was something about some sort of dust experiment. It's very, very vague, but whatever it was, it backfired on them, and it caused, well, the shimmering trees, the Isle of Light. It caused all this gorgeous. They were going somewhere with it, but it's really difficult to tell precisely where. And unfortunately, someone did something wrong, and it caused them to just completely lose their minds. Past that, you find some pretty vague information about Sapopa. It was actually looked into by the dwarves and the elves, and they actually determined that the ancients created the Sapopa. It looks like they were trying to find a way to produce honey without bees and a stronger, more resilient natural fiber. The stalks themselves were a huge success. They were great. They turned the Sapopa bushes into luxurious fabrics, but the nectar itself was a bit too bitter, so they didn't mess with it at all. Too bitter to replace honey, didn't work. They went which is interesting because the elves focused almost purely on the nectar, which is how we got the Sapopa that we're dealing with today. So just a little backstory on that. And
so wait, the lizards made Sapopa?
They literally created it. They somehow breeded this thing. Yeah.
The snake people, not the lizards.
Correct, yes.
Sorry, yes.
And they did indeed create the Sapopa with the express intention, which I know a little boring, but they just wanted really, really strong fibers. But the thing is, theoretically, these would have lasted like forever. The clothes, besides being gorgeous, almost don't wear down. And the elves technically could have used that, but they've probably already discovered that, so not as important for them.
Lekka's actually gonna note that down and try to sell it to Ma if he gets back. Because I'm sure she can do something with a fabric that does not decay.
Oh yeah, super, super valuable. 100%. And we're going to go ahead and start with Sarabi. You may ask me a question about the island that you think would be contained here, and if the answer is in here, I'll let you know.
Are you serious?
Ask me anything. Ask me one question. What is Sarabi looking for in this room?
You're going to have to give me a couple minutes.
Okay. We'll shoot the first question, whoever has the first answer. Lekka or Aldrin, do you guys have something that is buzzing in your mind?
Oh, boy. I mean, there is one question, but the answer is going to be no anyway.
I mean, you can say you're looking for it. What is it?
A cure for Sapopa.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
That would have been a very dickish thing to hide.
Yeah.
I mean,
They can bribe people with it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I will say they sure as shit looked for one. You find lots of research papers of them trying almost literally everything at the expense of some people's health and lives. So they were very interested in a cure to not die. Something else I can tell you is you guys are aware that I believe I mentioned a name, Alistaria. So you find this in the research. She discovered that the Sapopa made a wonderful drink, makes the user feel euphoric, also doubles your potency, and it became mandatory within the Elven army. Which, yeah, oops. Yeah, it's then mentioned that this black blight was discovered a few months after they started using it. By that point, it was far too late because everyone was addicted. All non-magic users died, meaning only masters of the arcane remained in the army.
At least they were stronger.
Yeah, it technically did what they wanted them to.
Yeah.
You also notice that it says they straight up died, they didn't turn to ooze.
It sure is a good thing that every single one of us is a caster of some sort.
I'll also say you don't have a limited number of answers. If you can think of a question, might have an answer. Even if it's dumb.
I would be curious to find out what specifically happened to the tower and the island with like the weird crystallization and burn marks. If there's anything on that.
Which part specifically?
Something happened to the island that all the elves suddenly went away, the dwarves went away, and everything locked up. If there's anything about that specifically.
Yes, there is.
Cataclysm.
Yes, there is. After digging through some information about Hedonia, we discover that most people liked her. Some did not. She liked us. She liked the way that we partied. She brought us to her realm. She and her people came to our realm. And she never wanted to be the center of attention. Hedonia, she just wants to throw the party. She's the guy, she's the one who eggs that drunk idiot to jump off the roof into the pool. That's who Hedonia is. She doesn't want to be the one jumping. She wants to watch someone else do it. Whether they live or die, who knows? But the spectacle was worth it. Something else you can tell is they were very receptive to these wonders that she had to show them. And while not everyone fell to this, some folk postulated that maybe she was using her magics to impart various pleasures onto people, which potentially bound them to her? It's difficult to tell, but too many elves were receptive to almost anything she had to say. Maybe it was the Sapopa, maybe it was the various drugs she bought from her dimension, maybe it's because she was so fun. She was really, really charismatic. It was hard to say no to her. And that's definitely part of it. But unfortunately, the what is still a giant question, Lekka. But something happened. When this something happened, it was discovered that there was a massive hunk of rock that Hedonia brought with her. It was used for various things in the parties. It could help help prolong highs and things of that nature. So she would bring that over. She brought a rather large chunk over. She kind of had it on this side. Maybe she claimed it stabilized the road between her realm and ours. They didn't question her, but it was definitely unique. There was something about it. We didn't really know what it was. All this person knows is they didn't speak to Hedonia that much, so they weren't bound to her by whatever weird magic she brought with her. All this person knows is that something happened to this giant hunk of black glass. When I say hunk, I mean it's a boulder the size of a small boulder. I love that article so much. It was probably, the size of what's a reasonable, maybe like a 5 by 8 feet hunk of rock. So it's huge, quite large. Something caused it to shatter, though. This person cannot say what it was, but there was a ringing throughout the island. And when it did, anyone assumed bound to Hedonia burned. They just turned to ash. She had no answers for this, of course. Most didn't. Not long after this, maybe almost immediately after whatever this thing that was happened, Hedonia left. She goes back to her realm. And the few elves not bound to her experienced visions of shadows roaming the night, specifically in Hot Springs City.
Uh-huh. Wow, that's a lot of people.
That's not ominous.
Obviously, they left the city because of this. And then, of course, the remaining elves that didn't turn to ash turned to orange jelly. You see that a lot of them decided to hole up in the observatory. Some of them were followed by these shadows, but they realized they could only go so far. They would stop following after some time. When daybreak struck, they would disappear, but, no matter how they tested it, no matter how many things they messed with, it always seems the number stayed the same. And they didn't want to fight. A lot of their Sapopa was still in that city, so some of them tried going back. Only a few came back. They kind of just dedicated what time they had to said tower. And some people were ashed in the tower as well, but not as many.
Does it say where this rock was?
Yes, there was... I would say there were multiple, but the one that shattered, that people presume caused the others to shatter, was located in the ruined marketplace. There were various temples to Hedonia, and that's where she stored them. And one of them was in the marketplace.
Have you been there?
No.
I'll just say, I kind of want to go see it.
Yeah.
Now, you guys have been past various rooms where there was basically nothing in it. There were temples, but there was nothing of value in them. So there was a possibility that the Arva or someone else took whatever spare crystals, after it exploded, just took them with them, assuming they were of value. This was so long ago, who can really say? But there were various temples you guys have run into that are completely empty now. So there was just no reason to go in there.
Interesting. How much paper is in this room? Documents?
There's a lot, but if you guys quickly skim through it, there's a decent chance of you finding the information you're looking for.
Yeah. I'm also thinking how much could we potentially bring up
Well, it's 12 p.m. If you guys decide to spend a good portion of the day here, it is, like I said, it's day 24. So you guys definitely have some time. You can just chill down here. You guys have rations on you. Y'all can chill and just read. It's up to you. And you guys are nearby one of the Nereid tunnels that will bring you straight back home. So
I
Yeah,
am content to chill read.
Yeah, for as long as the spine dragon doesn't plan on returning, at least.
yeah, he is taking his sweet ass time. Daniel let you know, and this Daniel will also let you know when the Spine Dragon plans on returning, but he hasn't
Both
eaten.
Daniels will let me know.
Both Daniels let you know. He hasn't eaten in a while, and you guys brought his favorite food, so he is not going to let it go to waste. You can very much tell that. So if you have any other questions, you can fire them at me, or I can just throw random information at you. If you,
Sure.
if you want random info, let me know, and I'll throw it at you.
Yeah, I'll take random info. Maybe that'll spark a question.
If anything, the most pressing thing that I would be looking for is any mention of a guy called Svarku.
Yeah, probably that.
I would say weirdly no, but logically no, because he happened after all this.
That makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Something I would say lightly connected to him, though, definitely comes up. You guys, I believe I mentioned this before, but I will further elaborate as you do indeed find more information. During the war, and also after the war with the ancients, as they were kind of trying to remove them from the premises, the dwarves assisted the elves with making these singing golems. And at some point, they were indeed used for combat. We have lots of information of them after the war.
Are there blueprints?
There are vague blueprints, yes.
I wanted to take them.
Sure. Something actually, I'll get to that part in a second, actually, because you do indeed find blueprints. Something very important you indeed find, though, is that one location that was completely wiped away and off the map. You guys find that that was one of, if not the, core location for creating the singing golems. And you see somewhere in here, and there was a very quick executive order that was issued that basically said, okay, you're done, destroy the building, destroy all the information, burn all of it, as we agreed. And it's signed SV. You also see there are various blueprints that were added on top of the standard singing golems, because we had those, of course, after the war. And some of them are indeed still functioning. These were basically, as I mentioned before, meant to tend to the city, while everyone was just absolutely just balls rocking their minds to every different type of Sapopa, injecting, snuffing it, drinking it, all the good shit. The golems took care of Hot Spring City. But it's also revealed here that some of them were used for combat. And it seems that there was another executive order prior to this war really ramping up of extra information on how to get these golems to work longer and harder, maybe be more receptive to commands. The ones that clean Hot Spring City, they're relatively dangerous in combat, but they're a little slow. If you guys haven't fought one, but were you to, it would hit really hard, but they're not fast is the thing. They're good at moving slowly and cleaning and sweeping, things of that nature. Whatever this was, these blueprints, which are the ones that you indeed find, Sarabi, they are written in Dwarven. This is something you would indeed recognize. Probably cannot read it, but the blueprint kind of speaks for itself. They're...
She can read it.
Oh, you read Dwarven?
Once.
I say, if you want to use the thing, you can. You don't have to, of course.
Nah.
I'm definitely sitting here with comprehend language anyway, so.
My sister also knows a dwarven friend, so he'll help.
That works. And like I said, the blueprints, they kind of speak for themselves.
Am I even there yet?
Where yet?
What?
I don't know. I'm talking about Sarabi's reference. But I think Urid stuck around for a few weeks, so yeah, probably.
Yeah, the war would have just ended. I think if I've got the timing right.
Around that, yeah. And with this, you discover that there was another order gained from where we're not entirely sure, but it looks as if they were instructed to use elementals as the cores to these golems. And of course, you can continue to use them as cleaners and such, but how useful would a fully automated army be? You wouldn't need to lose any more men, correct? And they're not going to argue. I mentioned before, they lost way too many elves during this fight. It just absolutely was not worth it. And the ancients were just breeding mindlessly. Just more and more and more and more and more. And this helped to stymie that. In fact, as we're aware, we haven't run into a single one, so clearly it worked. And you can see that a lot of this information that was signed over is also signed by an SV. You can tell this entire operation actually was bankrolled by this person, whoever this person is. It also seems after they wanted that entire building completely destroyed, leveled, these blueprints presumably burned and destroyed, all of it destroyed. That was essentially the promise. Once we're done here, once your war is over, you give me the information, I leave. I'm effectively letting you borrow it. Any leftover golems you may keep, but that's it.
Is there any hints as to who SV is?
You cannot tell. It seems obviously, one of the papers burned, and they only sign it SV. It is a nice signature, I will say.
As long as it is in Svarku. Doubt it, but
You can tell that the date of these is prior to Svarku arriving. So theoretically should not be.
And that's Lega's logic here. Does make me curious, though.
If you have any questions, you can ask about realistically anything, Hot Springs Island, our world, whatever you like.
Is there any mention of a way to lock off this island?
You said to lock off?
To lock off the island, as in what is currently happening? All the portals stop working, stuff like that?
It seems there was no intention to lock off the island, so whatever this was happened after. It was most likely unrelated to the elves.
You said we can ask about stuff not related to the island?
Correct. If it somehow pertains to what's happening here, or if it's just general knowledge your character would have, you're more than welcome to ask.
Did vampires exist back then?
Did vampires exist back then? Yeah, probably.
You mean I can't find anything about them?
Do you mean if there were vampires on the island?
Potentially.
No.
Does it mention anything about shape-shifting frog people?
It does not.
Yet.
Is there any medical info?
Oh, there's definitely medical info. Like I said, they tested a few unsavory methods trying to remove Sapopa addiction. It's primarily that.
Yes, what if you kill someone and bring them back? Are they still addicted to Sapopa?
The thing that comes back isn't what you want, I'll put it that way.
Ah, okay.
Oh.
Just a note, Sarabi, if I die, don't resurrect me.
Noted.
If it's quick, go for it. If they've been dead for a little while, probably don't. Probably not, especially if they're super addicted. Keep in mind, a lot of these patients have been taking it for like months, if not some years. Some come back fine, still addicted. Others, they waited too long, hoping maybe they would burn out of their system in some way. And various mentions of, orange slimes that are a little aggressive when near Sapopa, which is everywhere. So oops, because we have to keep taking it or we die.
Yay.
In one case, the person even lost a leg and an arm. And his brother.
Horrible, really.
Is there any info about any other gods or demons?
Besides the alleged gods and potentially Adonia being a demon that they worshipped, no. As I mentioned, they did worship this elf sorceress, Alastria, as if she were a god, but she definitely is not a god. She was very, very powerful. She's also now very, very dead, allegedly.
Does it have any blueprints for the big-ass golden telescope thing in the observatory?
Yes, there is indeed the blueprint on how it was put together.
Oh, good. I'll take that.
Okay.
Wow, rude. Any building blueprints I want.
Are there any you want?
You don't have the materials to make this, and we do have the materials in the tower.
I intend to give them to my sister.
I mean...
All right, you can keep that one. I want to take everything else.
Do you think she can rebuild it?
Absolutely. My sister is a tinkerer.
You want to know how to make a building shaped like a whale?
Yes.
No.
Have I got news for you?
Excellent. My sister will be so excited.
All right, Mr. Eldrin, is there anything you want to know?
Oh, God.
Even if it seems kind of dumb or not related, you're more than welcome to ask, and I can answer.
I mean, I doubt there's anything but, info on making extra shadowed copies of yourself.
While that is definitely unrelated, they, of course, tried various methods in combat. They need to be as efficient as humanly possible. They weren't super successful with it, but they definitely looked into it, so you could grab the information from that, and you now know what not to do, or what doesn't work and or kills you.
Sure, I'll yoink it, why
which
not?
Could super help. I mean, knowing which steps to skip are definitely save you some time.
Yeah.
Do they have any information to give us a level?
Yes, you just read this word, you suddenly level.
How do I level up? It's like the Skyrim glitch with that one book.
Yeah.
The Ogmine Finiston.
You just keep reading it over and over.
Yes. Do you know why I remember his name after all this time? Because I used that glitch.
I mean, I used it too, and I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Well, my brain doesn't work in the first place.
That's fair.
It was a fun glitch. Very useful.
I will say specifically for Lekka and Sarabi, how much did you travel, Sarabi? Obviously, Lekka, you went everywhere because, boat. But Sarabi...
Well, I haven't gone north yet.
Okay.
But that's happening.
Cold up there.
Yes, it is. That's why I haven't gone up there.
That's fair.
No one wants to go there.
Well, I kind of have to. One of my friends went up there, and I haven't seen him in 3 months.
He's probably
Kind of
fine.
rude. Probably.
I mean, at least he's not stuck on some island that you're not allowed to leave. Well,
Yeah, that's
some
true.
drug.
So, Robbie, you're fairly well traveled, I would assume.
If I actually think about it, yes and no, because I want to say she's probably the type she'll wander until she finds some posh place, and then she'll probably like stay there for like 10 years.
Fair enough.
10 years.
Like 5-10 years, just so people don't, notice what I'm doing, and then move on.
What are you doing, Sarabi, huh?
Just nibbling.
Oh, God.
Maybe enjoying the rich life a little too much.
Okay.
I like I said, I only settle down posh.
Well, have either of you been to Orzamir?
Remind me where that is again?
The dwarvish, one of the
That was
dwarvish capitals.
That was the racist dwarfish capital, right?
No.
No?
The
No.
racist one.
Which one was that then? Which one am I thinking of?
That's Foreignfold.
I didn't know there was a racist one.
Racist, it's less racist and more so they thought basically their whole thing, to quickly sum it up, is we made this technology, we don't want to share it. That's basically it.
I mean, the answer to that question is, does Orzamir have a port town?
No, they did not, I don't think. I'm trying to think.
No.
Okay.
Is it heavy dwarven, or is there lots of people since it's so big?
Heavy dwarven, but it is mixed. One of the reasons why Foreignfold do not like Orzamir is because they are a little too willing to share, especially with the two new leaders that have taken over.
Yeah, I think I would have passed through at least.
Okay.
I mean, Urit is from there at least, but
Then,
born there even, but
yeah,
it's useless.
I would say, Sarabi, if you've swung by there before.
Actually, wait, no.
Yeah?
Lekka was the one that ferried Urit over. He might have talked about it at least.
Potentially. This is more so something you would have seen, though. I'm not sure if he would have described it, but he might have. It's an everyday thing for the dwarves and the people that live in Orzamir, though. So Sarabi, you didn't even most likely see this. You definitely did 100% see this. There are golems all over Orzamir. Orzamir is sparkling clean because of said golems that we know are powered by elemental cores. Some of these blueprints look really, really similar to those golems.
Oh. Well, then I know my sister's going to be interested in these because I told her about them.
Yes, that's actually...
Wait,
It was a major point with Orzamir some while back, as you were, well, I guess the player is aware of Sarabi. But they've kind of moved past that. There's now new laws in place, but it's still kind of one of their crowning achievements of like, hey, come visit town of Orzamir. Look at these cool things we have. And no, they're not really sharing the information, which just caused Foreignfold to get a little grumpier, but that's kind of how it is.
Didn't I hear something about their switch in royalty lately?
Yeah, there was some drama about, oh god, was it 10 years ago? I forgot what the time skip was. 15 years?
It was 20.
Yes. Correct. Yes.
Well, 20-ish.
20, yeah, correct. I'm
20-ish.
I'm looking at my timeline here. Yeah. The year 1510, first group starts adventure. Year 1530, current adventure. So yes, 20 years. Yes, 20 years ago, there was a shift in leadership.
Are you trying to tell me that this research that was specifically asked to be burned because it's kind of, they're effectively enslaving elementals,
That
is
was
being used by them right now?
That was the question. People weren't sure if elementals had a will of their own. So some revolutionaries were like, they have wills of their own. You are enslaving these things. They cannot speak, so they can't tell you that this sucks. And others were like, meh, free labor. So that's not okay.
Lekka just shouts off, "Hey Daniel, do you have a free will?"
He calls down like, yeah. No, he flies over and looks down the hole and gives you a look of like, and then he flies back over to land on the spine dragon.
That looks rather free to me. I'm not sure how to feel about that, honestly.
Yeah, we know on our side, outside the island, it's basically devolved into elementals openly attacking people, which just further proves their point of they're just monsters, and therefore we need to defend ourselves even further, and it just devolves into, not great conversations, unfortunately.
Slavery, yay.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, all the elemental portals that they opened up that we learned about in the tower is also all part of this, right?
Yes, you can see that various timings for the portals and times when they were opened and which planes specifically they decided to poke at, which they got Hedonian to assist with this. Normally, you can't that easily just like, hey, I'm going to go into this elemental plane, at least with this much control. So Hedonian definitely helped with that. But you can tell that there is a 100% connection because there was a pretty quick cutoff of like, okay, we're done researching, we're done with this, we don't need any more elementals, therefore, shut it off. And she left, therefore closing the portals, so normal elementals anyway, so.
Yeah, except that now currently the portals have been reopened and they're making more golems. Or are they using a different method?
trade secret, unfortunately. Some people do destroy them and vandalize them, and they just kind of have more. It's less frequent, though, because like I said, my brain isn't working. I think safety's put into place, as in, like, you can only have X number of golems functioning at one moment. So, there are some people physically working now to help clean the city and do things. Every single, shop owner and this and the other is not just a golem there to receive funds and to do, what have you, and only clean. They've peeled it back by quite a bit at the request of some heroes, the revolutionaries, and the current kings. It was just so ingrained into their culture that they couldn't just say no without pissing everybody off. Mainly because a lot of people were killed by elementals or, had their families killed by elementals. So, unfortunately, a dirty business they're dealing with.
What else can we possibly find here? Anything about the big things in the ocean around the island?
Big things as in creatures?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The reason why you can't simply sail out.
Of course. Sure. Give me 2 seconds. I actually have a name for you.
Nice.
Let's see. So it is mentioned fairly vaguely, as this isn't really a major point of research. It's not something they need to mess with. When you're getting, lost in the sauce in a tower, you don't need to worry about some crazy creature that's both in the sea and burrowing in the ground. There's a giant violet worm that is burrowing about somewhere in the island that people want to very much ignore, so don't dig too much. There's a massive albino centipede as well that is, once again, please avoid this.
Yes. And which one of these is the one that is the Arva want to fight? The Goa.
The Goa want to fight. There's a couple big things in this island. Give me 1 second. Sopkatok.
Yeah. They want to fight everything.
How did they describe him?
Essentially described as this immortal, multi-headed being that lives inside the volcano. The elves completely ignored the shit out of it because why would they mess with that? There is
also mentioned in the list.
Yes, there is also something called, I'm going to completely butcher this name, Jumavesi, I think. And
I think
it's a giant sea creature. They've not seen it too frequently or seen it at all. It very rarely surfaces. They're not really sure what causes it to surface. But we do know that on the island, let me double check real quick exactly where it is. It will hatch what is presumed to be its young directly northwest of here in HS 14. And there are, you guys have not been there just yet, a shit ton of crabs, like a ton of crabs. So this thing is presumed to be a giant crab. It sinks ships. Don't mess with it. Don't mess with its babies. That's all they know. They have charts and directions in which to basically ferry in from. Sometimes it's better to come in from the east and just walk across the island whenever they're having guests and such. If you're going to,
useful.
If you're going to come from the south, do so very carefully. When you know it's not active, when it's active, because it's mostly active on the eastern side of the island, do not be anywhere near it. It will destroy your ship instantly.
All right, I'm taking those charts.
Okay. Yeah, I will say it is well charted. They don't know exactly when it pops up, but they do know general areas at which you want to avoid, and that's effectively it.
It's worth trying to sail out with the charts, I guess.
Oh yeah, definitely.
See if that works.
Yeah, and the thing is, there could be a pattern with other creatures that are farting about in our world. So, who can truly say? But yes, a concerning number of very large creatures on this island.
Does it say anything about like theories at all about why they're here? Did they literally ignore them?
Most assume them to be protectors of the island, gods, essentially, primordial gods. They didn't attribute one to each element because there isn't really a flying one, but one burrows underground, so it's protector of the land. One is protector of fire and mountains and such. So, good old Sopkatok and Jumavesi protects the oceans. So they just kind of assumed they were these like old gods we just don't mess with. And for the most part, they didn't kill us if we don't bother them. So it kind of worked out.
That just begs the question: what are they guarding? The silence is worrying.
I don't have an answer.
No, I don't have one.
They don't know. They just don't mess with them.
Don't mess with that.
Did it mention anything about the crystal itself on the island, or was that also part of the ancient snake people messing up and turning half the island into crystal? The
red crystal?
Yeah,
that is actually a good question. We will presume the red crystal was always there to the point where they didn't even think about it. They sometimes used it, but the elves at least had their own way of functioning, so they didn't really find much use for it. They were much more interested in, obviously, Sapopa and not dying. And the trees, because the trees are really pretty at one point in time.
Yeah, I guess.
Seems like they still died.
Yeah.
Quite horribly, actually.
Yeah.
A damn shame.
I think they failed a bit.
Just a wee bit.
Yeah. They might even have
I mean,
sped
we
it
all
up.
fail that one eventually.
True.
Excuse you.
We are God!
I'm doing pretty good.
It's fine. When kobolds die,
now.
they become one with nature.
Are you trying to say you don't get reborn as some giant dragon?
Only if we're lucky.
It rolls around to about 4 p.m. and it's going to be a little bit later than that. But Daniel kind of floats on over and lets you know that he's basically done. Like he's just now finishing up, licking his fingers, if you will.
Oh, time to go then.
I
Guess
can
we'll
believe.
pick up any of like the important-looking documents that we can bring with us.
Yeah, spending the time that you guys have. Realistically, that probably would have been a little more time. I'd say we're probably closer to 8. So Daniel will let you know it's time to go before sundown, of course. And the creature is done eating. So you guys can effectively leave here before the shadows show up. But by the time we get up and get ready, grab all the books we need, it'll be about 8 p.m.
Oh,
So-
yeah, I forgot about them.
Yeah, so most of this, well, yeah, no worries, I got your back. Most of this was you guys determining which books are useful, quickly skimming through them, me giving you information. We can say some of this is gained while we're walking, while we're, leaving. Realistic, if you guys come up with another question, I can just throw it at you. But yeah, there's, I say a lot of the books you don't need to take with you. So the important ones stick out quite a bit. You're able to nab those, and you guys can kind of hear the big boy just like turn, and he kind of just like yawn, burp, who knows, and he's just dragging himself along the floor. And Daniel starts like running around the circle, like, yep, he's done.
Screw up the ladder.
All right, as you all pop out, you do indeed. You see the spine dragon just dragging himself across the floor, and he's just basically ignoring you guys. He's going straight for that hole.
Climb up, Eldrin, you go first.
Why do
Let's
I
talk
always
about it.
have to go first? Fine, I'll go.
Because I can teleport out if things go wrong.
No, I screwed up first. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
You're second.
you got plenty of time. He's not
He's
rushing.
slow, it's
He's
fine.
If you get stuck down here, I think you deserve to get stuck down here.
Thanks.
Oh,
Daniel gave me enough warning that it's gonna take him like 3 minutes just to like wiggle on over. He has to do a 3-point turn. It's a whole thing.
it's
He's
a
not
lot of
really-
effort for a big guy.
You even hear him beeping as he turns.
Exactly. He's not very good at it. He hasn't had to actually move this much in who knows how long. He's like sweating. Ugh, ugh.
Sore.
I don't want to move ever again.
Oh,
right. All three, we just want to die. all three of you pop out. The longest rest. Y'all pop out. He just kind of plops back into place. Daniel perches himself on your shoulder like, and you guys are a few books and some knowledge richer.
That's useful.
Where do we intend to go next? There's quite a bit to look at. We're still at HS 19. By the time we prepare to leave, it'll be 8 p.m., so we're basically at the edge of Hot Spring City.
It's day 24,
It is still day 24, and it's 8 p.m.
and day 27 is the day the war starts.
Correct.
Where were the nice lizards again?
the nice lizards.
Was it HS 17 or something?
The
Way off.
Kiru are located in HS 21, and the Goa are in 17 and 23. Oh yes, near the breeding rock was the nice ones.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Not the breeding rock.
Wait, where even is 23?
Cursed breeding rock.
It's South Breed. It's where
Okay,
where
there
the
is,
arch
yeah.
was. Yeah. They're hiding somewhere in there. We don't know where exactly, but we were told they were somewhere southwest.
They exist over there.
Indeed.
Totally not in this like hollow hill with the image where they are hiding.
I'm not really sure what's going on there. I haven't read that part yet. It looks really funny though. I think they're playing cards.
Funny.
I really have no idea what's going on there.
It's interesting that it's like a mixed bag.
Yeah, what's that middle dude? He's like wearing a mask. I have no idea what's going on. There's like a little lizard. There's like a rock guy and a guy with a mask, and they could be having tea. I don't know. Just kind of low poly. It's very weird.
It's orange Lekka.
Yeah,
Kinda rude.
What?
I hate oranges. How dare you?
All the bad kobolds are orange.
Oh,
Speaking
now
of
who's
rude.
rude?
Speaking of rude, wow.
I say that being a blue kobold whose clan was literally murder hobos.
But they were worse, so it's okay.
Yes.
Alrighty, where do we intend to go
At
next?
least my clan didn't eat people. Actually, no, that's not true.
Oh wait, shit. There was Larry. Damn.
Damn, Larry.
It's one of those memories that Lekka tries not to think too much about. He doesn't know where his food came from, basically.
Oh,
It didn't have a face when he ate it, though.
I see.
There were some questionable bones in there, you know.
Questionable bones.
Yeah,
My favorite indie band.
but you don't know that because you never asked Lekka, so
I don't know if I want to know anything about that.
good.
As long as
Because
something.
Lekka doesn't want to remember either.
Yeah, sounds like you keep that close to the chest.
Yeah.
All right, where do we intend to go to next?
We could relax at the Kiru, share some information with them, or sell some information to them.
I guess we could see what they're going to be up to as far as their plans go. Oh, wait. It's the Goa that are fighting, right?
Yeah.
Yes, the Kiru do not
The
want to be
Kiru
involved.
did not want to get involved, yeah. But at least they like to party.
Sure, and also have fun just in case we die.
Exactly.
Right? You want to just head straight there?
Yeah.
Okay. It is indeed going to be late by the time we get there.
How are we getting up the cliff, actually?
There are various roads and routes and such. There's if you exit from the eastern portion of Hot Spring City, there is you can take your guys' little boat the way you got in last time. You just kind of shoot on over this little indented lake area, and then you end up on flat grounds, and you kind of go over the small hill, and then you guys kind of do as one does. Alrighty. Well, by the time you guys arrive, it is indeed going to be, surprise, surprise, a midnight of a day 25. As you guys
Go
approach,
party with the Kiru.
it sounds like they're actually winding down from a feast.
Not good.
How do we choose to approach them?
I mean, with my entrance, I'm pretty sure they know who I am. So I'm just gonna walk in.
Sure. As the three of you kind of saunter on in, they turn, weapons held at the ready, not aggressively, and they quickly recognize the three of you. And you get a quick nod. They're not entirely sure why they're here, but they're a little busy, so they're primarily moving about and more so just doing their thing.
Hi!
A few kind of give you guys a wave and come on over.
It is quite late. What brings you here?
Looking to, hang out?
And the night, we also found a lot of interesting information.
You get a few
Maybe
nods.
Trade.
At the mention of information and trading, a few more are interested in coming on over.
What kind of information?
You know the city?
Nods.
Apparently there was some kind of secret, I don't know, chamber. Lots of information, about things on the island.
Okay.
And I'll just plop down a bunch of books that I took with me about the Lopkatok and Juma Fessi and the other two. The two more, right?
Yeah, you have a lot of information. They're like, oh, shit, okay. And they kind of divert their eyes away from said information, looking to you, Lekka, and say,
What do you wish to trade for precisely?
I mean, there's plenty on this island we don't know about yet.
Indeed. We've heard of...
and they kind of look to each other, and they're not sure if you guys are involved in this, but they kind of get in the vague sense that maybe.
Something will be happening relatively soon with the Goa.
I heard.
Well, if you have any questions, you know our lines. So, you may ask.
Wait, what were their lines again?
They don't want to join the fight.
Okay, right.
They'll
They
help
don't
you
want to get
guys.
political.
Yeah, they don't want to get involved. They very much said, we'll help you, we'll do this, but we don't want to join that fight. And they definitely do not want any hostilities between them and the Goa. They do not dislike the Goa do not dislike them, but you get the feeling at one point there might have been bad blood between either particular members or the clan in general, and that has completely been washed away for now.
I guess I would ask a random question about points of interest on the island that we haven't visited yet.
Oh god, with that you get a look of where would we even begin? And they kind of motion walk with us, we're kind of cleaning
I mean,
up.
I'll just pet the stack of books like I've got a lot to share.
Oof. Okay. They very much give you a look of how long do you intend to stay here and chit chat with us? Because we're cleaning up after a feast, so sorry we can't offer
we
any
can do
food.
this tomorrow.
Fair enough. They basically, if you want to help us clean, we'll be done quicker to bed, quicker to rise.
Sure.
Alrighty. And as you guys are sort of preparing them,
I'll start prestidigitating the dishes.
yeah, as you're kind of helping, they're like, oh, well, okay, excellent. I forgot you can do that. What are you intending to ask them? What specifically do you want besides what haven't I seen yet? Is there a specific area you're wondering about?
I mean, there isn't a whole lot that we haven't seen yet at this point, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, if there's something in particular, let me know and I'll, scoot over to that. But realistically, we've seen almost every single hex except for, unsurprisingly, Sparkus.
Yeah, I mean, those two hexes and as well as the Hex 14, I think. Yeah, that's the only one.
Okay.
As well as the black splotch that I assume is Juma Fessi.
Oh, the yes, the thing above 14.
Yeah.
It might be. Who knows? So we'll say the
Tease.
the three of you assist with this general situation. It doesn't really take too long, honestly. They're working fairly quick, and they're making very small talk with you guys. They understand this will be a fair trade, so they're sharing information with you. You're sharing information with them. Real basic stuff, real basic, just on the surface of like, where have you been? What have you guys seen? It's been a little while since you've seen you last. You seem to be okay. And they kind of go over just the basic formalities, and they seem pretty intrigued. And wow, you got that thing to move, awesome. So they're definitely ready for chit chat. I also say, because you guys unveiled that secret, I'll give you another point of inspiration. So you guys have a total of 7 now. And since it's resting time, they're more than willing to give you guys a room to stay the night. It will roll around to 8 a.m. on day 25.
I would definitely mention that we managed to free Meltalia.
More points of interest, more like, okay. Clearly.
I'm sure they would be on friendly terms with them.
Yes, they are very inquisitive. They just want to know things, realistically. They value knowledge essentially above all else.
She knows a lot. She's very old.
Yeah, they're very inquisitive. They have nothing against the Darius whatsoever. So you telling them this, it might be like, okay, hey, maybe it's time for us to, swing by and give them another chat. They seemed a little off-putting last time for, a multitude of reasons. Not against us, but like they were very much like, stay away. We're trying to do something. We don't want to touch your war or any of that. Yeah. And they were hiding. Doesn't help either.
Makes sense. They're basically in the same boat as you.
But if you guys want to go ahead and slap that long rest button, you're more than welcome to do so. It'll be 8 a.m. by the time this whole shindig hits.
I thought of a question.
You thought of a question? You mean from the room or to the lizard?
From the room.
Sure. What you got?
Was there anything about those dragon statues?
Which dragon statues?
Those 2.
Oh, yes. Those were here when the elves got here. So most likely made by the ancients. They're primarily used for irrigation. And realistically, I think they're just there just to honestly look nice. Let's see. 16 and 17?
Were there blueprints?
It's definitely not a reference to Tiamat or anything.
Nope. So blueprints, unfortunately, no, because the elves did not make it. Let's say.
Fudge.
All right, so they don't understand exactly how it's constantly just gushing water all the time, when it needs to, of course. They assume it's like sucking the water up, but they're really sure from where. They didn't mess with it too much. So the 16 one is basically there just for irrigation. The obsidian hydra, let me see if there's any weird secrets about it. So this one, I would say, is also similar. Definitely created by the ancients. Whatever magic they basically infused into it allowed it to pull up water from an aquifer that basically irrigated the various fields. Currently, the fields are quite barren, so most likely the ancients lived closer to these things and probably used them as, farming methods and such. So it was exclusively used by the ancients. The elves didn't really mess with them too much.
My sister loves dragons, so damn it.
They're definitely something else.
Oh, did they find any leftover writings from the snake people?
I mean, there was the big wall, but I don't think I could read it because it was more like
hieroglyphics
or something.
Yeah, but any others?
Primarily just that. Like I said, they were definitely inquisitive, but while some of their information was kept, a lot of it was burnt and thrown away, primarily because a certain sect of the elves didn't really understand what the ancients were trying to do, but they understood one thing. They messed with something they should not have messed with. They tried to determine what that something was, find whatever they could from said ancients, destroy their homes, destroy said stuff, double check it wasn't the, Sapopa or any of the weird plants on the island. It wasn't. So they just destroyed their writings, whatever this dust is.
These damn elves.
Whatever it was.
Destroying precious history like that.
They didn't see it like that. These are enemies they were fighting. They didn't want them to get their hands on it again and make them this weird creature that they were. They weren't entirely sure what was going on, but they want it gone. So unfortunately, most of it was destroyed.
I respect elves less now. Eyeball Aldrin.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, they destroyed.
Shouldn't be respecting elves.
They destroyed history.
What?
We shouldn't be respecting elves?
Definitely not.
Eyeball Aldrin.
Oh, high and mighty.
Huh?
That's right. High and mighty. Refuses to teach me.
I'm human.
He's human.
You know how to speak Elvish.
That doesn't mean I'm an elf. That's not how that works.
Enough. It's close enough.
What?
It's like people that know how to speak French. They're basically French.
Exactly.
Are they more French or less French than me?
More French, obviously.
That depends on how much you hate Paris.
I've never been, so.
Wow.
Funnily enough, the more you hate Paris, the more French you are. It's weird.
Cool. I'm in the clear then.
I love that.
Alrighty,
well, we've rolled around to 8 a.m., as I said, you guys were given a room. It was actually quite nice. Morning, food is being prepared, and like I said, whatever questions you guys have for them, you're more than welcome to ask while you trade this stuff. They'll give you some information about HS-14. One thing to let you know is that the primary function of it is a giant lagoon, a huge, clear blue water lagoon. And they let you know that occasionally there are rather large crabs, and when they say large, they mean like 2 times the size of a horse. So really big crabs, like really big crabs. Don't mess with them.
I mean, apparently, according to these documents, those are the babies of, what's his name? Jumavesi.
Yes, the children of Jumavesi will occasionally swing by there. At night.
How much of this do they know, actually?
Well, it happens in cycles. They just don't know how the cycles function. So they've seen Jumavesi do this, just kind of lay eggs and these things hatch. Various shells and bits will be left behind. They'll kill each other. They'll kill other folk that are here. So there's actually chunks.
I'll pull out the navigational charts, I guess, and see if there's a pattern at all.
What they're telling you is lining up with the charts. So it's, once again, difficult to tell if there's an exact pattern, but you have enough information to know basically when to avoid said area. It's actually incredibly useful.
Useful.
They also let you know that while the sand there is indeed black, it's also flecked with gold from the corpses of Jumavesi's children. There's also some
gold.
Are
we talking actual gold, or?
They don't think it's actual gold. It's they're gold colored, and like you would only have much use for actual gold if it was actual gold. So
maybe you don't.
They've never tested it.
Really useful.
Yeah, they don't know how to test actual gold. There actually isn't any on this island, so like natural occurring.
Wait,
so,
really?
Not that I could find. No. There's also a bunch of black urchins. There's pools full of black urchins, and there is a yellow outcropping that has the wonderfully potent smell of rotten eggs. Blocks out all over the sense in the area. It's like 100-foot slope of exposed basalt that's covered in this greasy yellow
sulfur.
Yeah, it's rather nasty,
sulfur.
Basically. So nothing too crazy over there, besides the giant man-eating crabs. But just don't mess with them.
Is there anything else we missed out on?
Overall, I have actually kept track of every single place you've been to. So yes, but we'll be here for a while. So if there's a specific question you have. I would say overall major stuff, no, nothing major you guys have missed. There's a whole bunch of little secrets, of course, but they're secrets.
That's rude. Give me your secrets.
They did let you know, so I'd say you probably mentioned it. You remember those giant black spheres you walked into that had a weird countdown you had to focus?
Yeah.
They said they won't hurt you, probably. You just need to focus. You need to enter, and you need to, for real, find an inner peace. And you need to be clear of mind. And the Kiru value these because that is something they aspire for. A clear mind, a full understanding of self. They value this as highly as they value knowledge. Let's see here.
It's kind of hard when you're addicted to Spoba.
Unfortunately, very. But let me double check. I'm pretty sure they essentially, if you meditate in there, you can achieve an inner peace. And sometimes you'll see visions. And these visions can be incredibly wild. I believe the larger the sphere, the harder it is to focus. Because they progressively got larger.
Is there anything on this island that doesn't give you visions, though?
That's a good point.
There's the flowers, there's the weird pool in the pyramids, or the not pyramids.
What if this whole adventure has just been one whole big vision?
You wake up.
We're all just on the boat right now.
Because if he wakes up, he's not addicted.
Ziggurat was the word.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Anything about the weird face that made Lekka go crazy? This guy.
Indeed. They let you know. Let's see. Do not shine any light, either mundane or magical, onto its face. If you do, you'll be overcome with an insatiable feeling of greed. They do not know why it does this, but they find it kind of funny.
So that's what happened.
And they occasionally say, do not do this. They will warn people not to do this. It's a little far away, and they don't want to be anywhere near it, which is why no one lives near the damn thing.
I'll just point at Sarabi. See, I told you it wasn't me.
I don't care. You still stole my stuff.
It's not my fault.
I won't blame you for it, but I don't regret what I did.
Well, I don't regret it either. Because I didn't hurt anyone.
True. Scoundrel trying to make me feel guilty.
You threw a fireball at me.
Do you know how fast you are?
Yes.
So you know I had to catch you.
With a fireball?
I was desperate.
It probably would have faded. Maybe.
Yeah, not before you'd
Wait,
run
maybe.
way off and got eaten by something.
It would have faded, right? I ask.
Yes. After some time, it should fade. The problem is that time can be longer than you'd like. Usually, great. You won't die, probably. Depends on your party. But misfortune will fall upon you, usually by that point. So honestly, steer clear. It's not worth any trouble. Maybe someone's hiding something in there. Maybe there's something that's hiding something, but they legit have no idea. And you need to shine light just to see. So just leave it alone, basically.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should shine darkness on it instead.
Oh, that'll let you know nearby there are pitfalls and such. Stay away from those.
Wait, you mean the big holes or actual pitfalls?
There are some large holes, but there are some areas that look like they're somewhat sunken as you're walking around, like various dips. And some of those are basically traps. You fall in and you fall in. And if you do, there's something large that would like to eat you. Don't let that happen.
Noted.
It usually will not come above ground, but it will make holes very close to the surface and then wait for food to fall in.
Well, that's good to know, I guess.
Essentially just that steer clear of that hex.
No.
There's a mean face. There's a hole. There's another hole. There's a lot of bad stuff. It's next to lava. Not great. Any other questions you want to fire off those guys? A reminder where we currently are when we get to one of the closer Nereid tunnels. It'll be about an 8-hour travel to get back to the northern Nereid tunnel. So make sure we keep that in mind.
Was there anywhere specific we had to gather, by the way?
They would prefer you gather at one of the, preferably the main village, if you're moving with the ogres, of course. Good old Glavrock village. That's where they would like to meet you guys. You can meet at Bavmorda if you wish. Her sons will be participating. She might as well. She does have a very particular skill that is useful in very certain scenarios, but she doesn't want to die, so
Makes sense. The question is, will I come back normal
come back normal. How so?
if I die?
Oh,
Near Bavmorda.
I mean, it's just if you ask her, depends. If you die and they res you quickly, they said you'll be fine. If you wait too long, they postulated that whatever is working in the Sapopa after it's been in your system for quite some time kind of takes over. So when you come back, you don't come back. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So just don't die.
Easier said than done.
Seems like good advice, just generally.
I'll make sure
You
to
know?
stick back 120 feet.
Try not to die ever.
Every day. Just keeping it up. All right, if you guys don't have any more questions for them.
Nothing that I can think of right now.
Okay, you two, Aldrin Sarabi.
I'm fine.
Have anything?
Okay. What is our plan next? Where are we headed to? I assume Nereid Tunnel and then straight north?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yes.
Yeah, that works.
Wait, weren't we gonna tell? Oh, we can just have Daniel deliver them a message, the group, to meet us in a certain place at a certain time.
Oh, you mean the group at base camp?
Yeah,
A group of people that want to leave.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could swing by base camp first and then walk up.
Yeah, you guys. So you think you guys are arriving at HS 8. It's going to be 4 o'clock. Right, that's 4 o'clock, right? 16? Yeah, 1600 hours, 4 o'clock. I can do time. So I will also say, as you guys swing by the Nereid tunnels, it being the 25th day, well, nearing the end of the 25th day, they basically let you know this is like the last time they can teleport you. If you need one more, it's going to have to be something real quick because they're going to be purely preparing from this point going forward.
Oh yeah, we know.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, and it being about 4 p.m. or so, you guys can, if you want, visit Maz, or you can send Daniel to scoot on over and he can place your rage with them. If you are pecked by Daniel, you have been chosen. Also, for reference, the noted area, I'll put Edmund there, is here. That's basically where you were told something will happen.
Do we just send Daniel so that Ma doesn't see us, or do we care if Ma sees us?
I don't think we can. I mean, we're still playing the role of gathering information, and I do have information to give her this time.
That's true.
Pay me. Pay me.
Pay me. Pay me. All right, so are we intending to actually head to camp then?
I'll keep Ma busy, and you can talk to the rest of the people.
All right, it'll be about 8 p.m. by the time we get there. And we'll make this simple since I have all the tokens out, unless we forget anybody, which I don't think we will. Technically, Travis is with that group, but we know Travis as long as he survives this little
I
fight.
mean, we'll see him in the fight anyway. So
Of course. So I'll make this really simple. I'll just move them to where Edmund is, which is moving a lot of tokens. Who do you guys talk to? Basically everyone, or I guess better question. Who do we exclude? Miss Keeper of Notes. I assume you have some quick notes on everybody.
Keeper of Notes.
Yeah, I've realized this campaign has gone too long that my notes are not very organized.
Fair enough. Who don't you want?
Well, let's see. We'll start with Joni's group. Are Benjamin and Ruben here?
By this point, yes, they have arrived.
I will definitely tell them. I'm pretty sure Dale and Jenny wanted to get off, right?
Yes, Dale was the one that was beating the rats up. Jenny was the one that was basically didn't really want to be here, so she was just kind of living on her own.
Marcia, is she one of those ones I talked to on the first campaign?
So I can remind you of who they are really quick. She came here alone. I believe she told you she was basically trying to atone for something that she did, and she let you know that she once had a group similar to yours. Well, more so similar to Joni's. Something bad happened, and she's just kind of here to figure shit out.
I will start the conversation with, did you figure out what you wanted to figure out?
She basically says it's complicated. She let people down, and this might not be... Things got complicated here. This isn't really the best scenario or situation for what I'm trying to do. I didn't think Ma was... Well, I heard rumors about Ma, but I didn't know she was exactly like this. This is not a good place to be, so... Were you get the feeling while talking to her, were you to offer some, like, hey, you want to peace out and go somewhere else? She would probably take it. This was like a challenge to herself, but this is one she'd expected.
Yeah, I'll offer it.
Okay.
I'm thinking I may also mention that we're going to go to a war, though. Do I get the feeling she joined that?
What's your reasoning? What exactly do you want to tell her? You can tell she doesn't really like Ma too much. She doesn't really have much to say about, like, a lot of the other folk, so nothing negative at least.
We just want to help the people find their freedom.
Okay, you know what? You mentioned that, and there's a fire in her eyes. And...
All right, but she needs to stick close to us so that she doesn't get lost and left behind by accident.
Okay, so when you say close to you, do you want her to be, like, with your group specifically, or...
I mean, I don't think you're going to want to role play her with us, but that would be better.
Okay. She let you know that, while she doesn't know you guys too well, she'll stick nearby. And when you clarify that you're fighting with the ogres, she essentially lets you know that, okay, I'll fight with them, I'll fight by them.
She needs to be somewhere within view so that when we're like, hey, we're leaving, she needs to like, okay, I'm coming.
Yes. So in that sense, yeah, she'll try to stick as close as she possibly can. But she'll help where she can. And when you say help, specifically the ogres, she knows their plight. You can tell she actually wants to help. And then we got Travis, Luther, and Horatio.
I don't remember them.
Luther was the guy we found in the forest, right?
Correct. He was the one that was chained up. Well, not chained up. He had shackles on.
Shackle boy.
I think there was something off about him, but he probably wants to get out.
One of the NPCs mentioned something off about him as well. He also gave you guys that hammer.
I feel like, Travis, did he want to come off the island?
Yes, Travis wants to leave. As a reminder, that's slightly awkward. Travis used to work for the Martell company.
He definitely wants to leave then.
Yes. 100% he wants to leave. Travis wants gone nice and fast. He had the issue with, Yama's here, but, like, I don't want to see her. So when you find him, he's on the outskirts, basically. He was living with the ogres and chilling with them. But when you tell him, hey, you can leave, he will not say no to that.
All right, yeah, I'll tell him to.
Okay, he's more than willing to join.
I will not tell Luther. What about Horatio?
Okay, Horatio.
I don't really know much about Horatio.
No, you don't. You talked to him like once.
I talked to him like twice.
Correct,
like
yes.
That.
Well, now's my chance to talk to him one last time.
Okay. You learned that... Horatio works for the Martell company. He did come here technically alone, but he works for Ma. And he's an acquisition specialist. He was sent here specifically to retrieve an important shipment that was stolen by someone who used to work for Ma.
No.
Okay.
We're just leaving Luther and Horatio. Everyone else gets to come with.
Well,
there's like 100 more crew.
Yeah, and if Horatio came here for Ma, he can leave with Ma.
Yeah, I will say, out of everyone you spoke with, explicitly he works with Ma. So
yeah, so he'll be fine here.
He can stay.
I will ask Joni, make sure no one wanders off, like they're sneakily gonna spill the beans.
Anyone that you guys have told?
Yeah.
Okay. She takes that very seriously as she fully understands the situation that we're in. And they're not going to come down to this weird area. I'll say it takes a little bit of convincing, but there's so many people, I don't want to roleplay you talking to 10 different people. and convincing them to come down here, even though it's probably only 3 separate groups. Dale has farmed enough rats. He's done. He's got enough experience. He's happy. So this group will, when you guys mention it, whatever it is, wink, wink, to meet us down here. It's not too far away. It's about a 4-hour hike, maybe a little longer than that. So it's a little awkward, but you do know that they've all been constantly going into the island, so Ma will not question it. This is not weird for them. They're literally here to adventure in the island.
Perfect.
Some of them might leave early. Some of them might leave actually a few hours after you guys leave. You're going north, they're going to go south. That's not weird.
That would be smart, yeah.
Yeah, so Joni and her group are probably going to head there. I think we'll say when you talk to Joni, you convinced them to take Edmund with you, because Edmund can't go on his own.
Absolutely.
Why is Edmund even here?
He loves you.
Edmund, no.
He didn't know this was the island we were landing on.
You old fool.
Do you speak with Edmund before we tell him all this, Aldrin, or no?
I mean, I'd probably just be there when we're like telling people about this stuff.
Okay.
I wouldn't like single him out or anything.
Sure. He does give you a look as if he's like very proud that you're kind of wrangling all these people up, and whatever it is you're doing, if anyone has a questioning look, Edmund kind of gives you guys a nod of like, you can trust him, he's a good kid. And that very much helps. And after you wrangle all these folk up, and there's quite a few,
Edmund uses the help action.
Lekka, while you were distracting Ma, what are you telling her?
I'm basically going at it like I just found the biggest jackpot of information ever, and she make a big deal out of it, basically.
Okay.
The first thing I'm obviously going to sell to her, I guess, is that the Sapopa, aside from being a massively dangerous drug, apparently can be used to make very strong armor and clothing.
Okay. She did not know this.
Like, I'll give her the documents that explain it, I guess.
And she kind
if
of,
anything.
yeah, she flips through them real quick, and it all seems to check out. And she kind of nods, and
Yes.
she's giving you the look of like, this is definitely useful information, and the look is very much saying, what do you want?
Well, I mean, I did come here to get paid, but this isn't all. I'm not done yet. I'll also give her. Well, I'm not sure if I want to give her like the full copy of all the documents of the sailing patterns on the island, or if I want to give her a copy of it.
Up to you.
Would I have had time to make a copy, basically?
You guys have been traveling quite a bit, and if it's a pretty basic copy, you can probably give her a pretty quick sketch.
I'm not sure how much information this is, so.
It's definitely a decent amount. Are you guys, since it's going to be at 8 p.m., are you guys planning on resting here and then heading out, or?
Yeah, I will be eating before we leave.
Fair enough. So that means it'll be day 26, and it'll be about 4 a.m. by the time you guys leave this area. So yes, in that time, on day 46, at 4 a.m., by the time you could easily have made a copy of this, while Sarabi and Aldrin are talking to everybody and convincing them to go south. Joni and all them will leave ahead of time. With Edmund, the others will slowly leave. Dale will probably take like Jenny and Travis, then the others will kind of go off on their own. So by that time, yeah, you definitely could have made a copy.
Yeah, I'm basically giving her those pieces of information, those 2 big pieces, and then a boatload of like small things that we found that we don't really have a use for, like the history of the island and stuff like that, and the war with the ancients, blah blah blah.
Okay, she's very interested in all this. She's not sure how.
I'm basically unloading a bunch of books on her that I don't want to carry.
Yeah, fair enough, and she'll gladly take them. A lot of this information, as you said, is nice to know and useful to know, but you don't necessarily need the book. And since you're not just giving her information, you're giving her the source. Well, this might be worth something then. The information is nice, but sources are nicer. So she effectively just like, no bullshit. What do you want? Riches? Weird shit we found? What are you looking for?
3,000 gold.
3,000?
Yeah, only 3,000?
No, 5,000.
All right,
Lekka and I are on the same page here.
I was trying to be kind of realistic.
I mean, like I did come in to get paid, so a notable amount of gold.
I'm not here
If
for
there's
money, but I mean,
anything-
I'll take some.
Like, did she find anything useful that we could use, I guess? But
Let's see, by this point, possibly
Is there a
not.
shop?
There's definitely some weird things found by, some other folk.
yeah, like the gavel.
Yeah, there's the...
Yeah.
I mean, I can definitely mention that there are some odd things. There's some cloaks, there's some like weird feathers, there's some like ropes and chains and helms and a leash, a box, just a lot of weird things. Obviously, we know some of these are kind of just meme items, so it very much depends on like what you're looking for.
Do you have anything against me also giving her the map we found with the 3 marks?
I don't think it means anything to us anymore, right?
No.
Yeah, I think that'd be fine.
Yeah, I'll just give her to that as well. I'll point out things like this one is being guarded by a massive plant monster, and we managed to get by it. There was some information in there.
All right,
This one is literally gone, wiped from the face of the earth. You might be able to, I don't know, dig it back open with enough time and manpower. And the last one is guarded by a very big dragon a very big, lovable creature that you can lure away with food.
do you specify what he likes eating?
Yes.
Okay, well that's a lot of really useful information then. When you say you want gold for your character, do you just want gold? Or are you planning on spending this on something?
I would probably spend on something, I guess, but...
Okay, so we can skip that middle step. Do you know what you want precisely?
Spell scrolls. Health potions.
Fair enough.
Are there any other potions for sale right now?
I mean, potions are something they will pretty commonly have. They're obviously running a little low, but they do definitely have some left. How
What
many
kind of potions?
I mean, in terms of what she has, it's primarily healing potions, but they'll have some also. I forgot the name of the tier we're in, but she will have regular potions as well.
Potion of Storm Giant Strength.
Not that one.
Yes, obviously. Is a haste potion considered normal?
I don't know. Depends on what they got. I'd have to dig through the items and find them.
I would definitely get one for Eldrin, because that's useful.
Speed.
I'm not sure if there's any potion that casters would like. Like a hero potion or something?
I mean, haste
What's it
is
called?
not horrible on casters either, mostly for the
Yeah.
AC.
I guess. Was
It's
there also a
plus-
potion that gives you like 10 HP every round or something? Was that heroism?
That might be heroism, but I don't remember.
That is heroism. For 1 hour after drinking it, you gain 10 temporary hit points that last for 1 hour, one time. So you get 10 temp HP. The same duration, you're under the effect of Bless.
We already have bless, but that's not bad.
Indeed.
It's conditioned as
It's
bless.
extra
or-
blessed that I don't have to cast.
Yeah.
And it can't
It's also
be
concentration, yeah.
yeah, the potion's not concentration.
Okay.
What about a fire resistance potion?
I might
Three of them.
want some of those.
Maybe.
Okay. God, I really wish they had prices for items. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's fine.
I recently had to bullshit some prices.
Yep, that is something that takes quite some time. Okay, so I will just say this. Are we intending to split this amongst the group and just gonna have potions for everybody?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
1 second.
This is the war fund, effectively. We also still have a decent amount of money to spend, I believe, because we just got our random doodads gold. Yeah, I still have 665 that I need to spend on something.
Okay, I know this is gonna be work, but I would say with all that information and with all the stuff you give her, it probably shouldn't be as much as last time. I'd say around. How much you guys currently have on you? You can spend-
A lot.
An amount.
I think you gave each of us like 300 gold last session.
Yeah,
I spent some of mine.
you did. Yeah.
I have 280 on me.
Okay, cool. You guys have a decent amount left. Awesome. This is slightly annoying. I believe I gave you guys 2 documents. One of them is the Discerning Merchant's Price Guide, and one of them should be Magic Item Prices, I think. Or, yeah.
I think I have both of those downloaded.
Yes. They're in the Google Drive. The reason I mention them both is because neither of them can agree on the price for things, which is fair because neither can wizards, so that's okay. I would say use this as a guide because there's literally too many potions. We'll be here for like hours trying to figure out which ones we want. Nothing very rare, so rare potions are okay. Uncommon potions are okay, so like fire resistance and whatnot. If something is absurdly expensive, we can come up with a decent price. I would say each of you add 300 gold flat. So each add 300 gold from what we give her. And on top of that, the ogres were preparing to give you guys something as well. That'll be healing bones, healing potions, basically, for each of you. So they're preparing those too. So you guys are going to get an extra potion when we meet up with them. So I'll let you guys know that ahead of time. So for example, if the book says this potion is 7,000 gold and the other book says it's 100 gold, I'll just take the average. And if I think it's not actually that strong, then I'll say fine. It's only, 400, 500 gold, whatever.
Is this in the docs?
Yeah, it should be in the docs. There's the Discerning Merchant's Price Guide and a Magic Item Prices. I would just say take the average. So the discerning one is pretty good. I would look at that one. The prices are very high, but they're not discerning. Yes, discerning, that one. Okay. This one also has them organized, which is nice. And she's not going to have access to all of them, but it does have all the potions on a single page. So that's kind of nice. Just look at the potions, though, specifically. So this is specifically just for potions, not for anything else. So don't look at anything else, just look at potions. And yeah, some of these are like 10,000 gold, but ignore those because they're super expensive. Elemental resistance is about 500 gold, according to them, which I think is probably fair because resistance is very strong in this game. The other potion of resistance, they have it at 300, so I'd probably say like 350 or something. I usually take the average and go down like a step. So general potions of resistance, I think 350 is probably fair. I'd say she probably has one. There's only 3 of you, so I'd say she has one for each of you. The potions are here in Foundry. You should be able to click them. They're under items, under custom items, because I had to make them. And the price should be on the item. The level 2 potion for reference is 150. Level 3 potion for reference is 300. So
one says 2,000 gold for a potion. One says 400.
Exactly. Like I said, sometimes they don't agree because depending on the campaign, one is absurdly powerful. So yeah. I understand that is a thing.
What?
Oh, you said no, very rare. I can't have that anyways.
Potion of Hill Giant Strength is only 125 gold. What?
That's not right.
No, that's 21 strength, isn't it?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, that's technically only 1 strength modifier for me.
Still.
Oh, that actually wouldn't do anything for you then, yeah.
How expensive is the next one up?
The better ones.
Yeah, the Frost and the Stone one is immediately
Frost
650.
Stone is 650.
Yeah.
What about in the other document?
Obviously, Storm is 8k.
Yeah.
Oh, the other one doesn't actually have the giant strength potions listed.
Yeah. So a lot of times they're just not listed because they're like, this item is either too good or talk with the GM because they can break the game for various reasons. So, and I get that. I understand that.
What even is a potion of longevity?
Longevity?
It'll make you younger.
Nice.
You roll a d6 plus 6 when you drink it for the first time, and you are younger by that many years, physically. I only know because someone in my game drank one, and now he's 8.
Wait, D6?
It's
wow.
D6 plus 6.
Oh, plus 6. I'm like, that's not very good, but plus 6, okay.
Yeah, he's like 8 or 9 now.
Beautiful.
And he refuses to drink it again because obviously, I mean, they didn't identify it, so they don't know exactly what it does. All he knows is he drank a blue potion and got younger.
Hell yeah.
They still have not identified it, and they have an extra one.
Drink it.
I don't know. It was just like random loot that I wanted to give out. I'm like, here, just have this potion.
It can be fun to store.
Do what you want with that.
Yeah, just roll on a random table. So yes, if you guys are looking to purchase potions, I would look at both of those documents. Like I said, some will not be listed for a multitude of reasons. If you're not sure, just ask me in Discord and I'll gladly answer. But so that you guys have a week to decide this is probably the last time you're able to purchase something. Just let me know what you want. We can say those items were purchased, and then we can indeed move forward. And like I said, for reference, it is 4 a.m.
Oh, another thing I would have probably sold. Ma is
Mom.
Meh.
Well, not so much sold, more information, but the what it calls the feather flowers.
I forgot about the homing oil.
Oh yeah,
the vial of red gold feather tea. I would have told her about those so she can make some useful potions, I guess.
Relatively, yeah.
I'm gonna have to remember that homing oil.
Yes, if you want to look through your guys' inventory and jot down in a notepad the actual useful items that are not the cod piece of sustenance, which we don't have anymore, but I'm gonna point that out anyway. And the face ball, because that one's just funny. There's a whole bunch of random funny items. If you want to write down somewhere the actual useful ones that are not memes, that might help you, because if you go, wow, I wish I had shit, I did have that. That does not feel good. That's not great.
I can't believe I haven't sold the face ball yet.
I have the songbird that... I don't know if I have a use for the songbird, because it hits everyone, including allies.
Indeed. You do run into melee range, so...
Yeah.
Depends on when you use it, of course.
I mean, what's the, range on it? Because, oh no, I wind it up. It flies outward, okay.
Yep, flies outward.
I'm assuming anyone, within its, small path, or is there, a range from its path?
Basically, a 20-foot circle around you must save or fall asleep.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I don't know if I'll be able to use that, really.
That's fair. Not you, of course, so you're fine.
Potions.
Yeah, but I don't want to put everyone else to sleep.
This is fair. Definitely hold on to it in case there's a weird scenario where you can use it, but...
I was thinking I could sell it for more stuff, but I'll think about it.
Indeed. For reference, the smaller items won't sell for very much, so unless you need 10 gold, if you guys are short 10 gold, you have it. Don't worry about it. If you're short 100 gold, then probably not. If you're short 5 or 10, even 15 gold, just let me know and you can still have the item. It's perfectly okay. Not gonna break the bank. I'm sure you have something on you you can sell. Maybe you found something on the floor. Or you arm wrestle someone. Who knows?
Heads.
Yeah, doll heads are definitely worth money. Anyway, unsurprisingly, next week is going to not be the last session, of course, but it's going to be very, very close to the last session. So definitely plan for that. It's currently, like I said, 4 a.m., day 26. We're really, really close to the end. We're going to be marching up to Svarku's business. So definitely get all your little bits in order. If there's anything that you guys wanted to like say or do, or have like, post plans for your character, assuming you survive, definitely, jot those down when we hop on whatever will be helping us leave said island. But until then, we'll pause today's session, decide what potions we want over the week, and embark on the volcano on the morrow.